Hello, party people, and welcome to a special on-time edition of SJU. Holy crap, that's a first. I'm glad we're starting on time because we've got an action-packed show for you today. We're talking a Harry Potter TV show. Does it exist? Does it not? You be the judge. We're going to be reacting to the Godzilla versus Kong trailer. We're going to take some questions from people like you. And Eric sat down with some of the people from WandaVision for a WandaVision junket. That's pretty sweet, right? So welcome to the show, Danielle and Eric. Hey, guys.
Hello there. I don't want people to get cocky that we're going to be on time every day, though. This is a special thing.
Don't get used to this.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
No promises. But it's Monday morning. We're fired up. We're good to go. And we're talking about the boy who maybe doesn't exist. I'm speaking of the Harry Potter TV series reported by Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, and then swiftly denied by both of them, or by HBO Max. So reports have come out that there is a Harry Potter series in early development at HBO Max. These rumors have persisted for some time. Executives are still looking for writers and basically an idea for what that could be. And of course they are. They'd be stupid not to. But when contacted by The Wrap to confirm the news, HBO Max and Warner Brothers said the following statement: "There are no Harry Potter series in development at the studio or on the streaming platform." So, well, I think, of course, they're working on something Harry Potter related at HBO Max. What do you make of this announcement and swift denial, guys? What's going on here?
It's to me, it's like the game, right? Because all the sources on this are good. You know, they are very credible. The outlets reporting this and the reporters who have the people on the inside who give them these scoops. So I believe it's real, but you know, Warner and HBO Max are just kind of playing that game of, yeah, there is not a specific title in development, because I think right now it's at the we're open for pitches stage, and they are probably meeting with a bunch of different writers who are coming in with their concepts. And so they don't want to say anything more until they can put out that press release saying, this is the show we're doing with this executive producer attached. But I think that it's real. It's just that it's not at that place yet where they want to announce it or put it out there yet.
Yeah, I totally agree with Eric. And I wish, because I know that there's always that thing of like, ooh, maybe this is how they tease it to see if they want it. But I don't think that you need to do that with this one. I think it's Harry Potter. I think we all know that everyone's going to want it no matter what. So yeah, I completely co-sign what Eric just said. I'm looking forward to seeing it if and when it happens, and if and when they give us literally any information about it other than, hey, you like Harry Potter? Because we're going to give you a one.
Totally. And of course, I think it's a certainty that Warner Brothers and HBO Max would love to have Harry Potter stuff on their service, including the movies. Aren't they somewhere else right now?
Yeah, it pops back and forth with Peacock because NBC Universal has that long-term deal for the movies from years ago.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'd like to develop something, but I'm sure they'd also like to do it right, because Harry Potter is kind of a cursed franchise right now. The movies are doing worse and worse. The Cursed Child didn't do itself any favors, and you got J.K. Rowling running her mouth out there. Wow, authors, man, why do they keep talking? How do you think that they actually navigate the maybe the stink of the franchise right now, specifically coming from the creator?
Yeah, that is a tricky one. I will say, like, I guess I'll say in defense of Cursed Child, which I've seen it twice, and that seems to pack them in. I know people debate that story, but I think Cursed Child is a success, you know.
But it's a good point, Eric. Yeah, it's so much better on the stage. It is because it's like a magic show, and you're reading the script of a magic show, and it's like, well, that's not as good. And yes, I'm sure it's had an amazing run in London and Broadway.
It was one of my last pre-COVID things was seeing it in San Francisco Valentine's Day weekend, and then it was all downhill from there. But yeah, I do think it's because of Fantastic Beasts, and especially the reaction of that second movie, that they are being very cautious here, and we can get to the JK of it all too. But I do think that they realize, like, we need to put our best foot forward here, because, you know, we've talked about HBO Max, which just launched in a really weird way because they had none of WB's biggest IP ready, and they're like, we're gonna have cool DC shows in 3 years. And Harry Potter is like their biggest franchise, and they had nothing, even though we're all like, don't you want to do a Harry Potter show? You know how Disney Plus was like, here's Star Wars, here's Marvel coming. So it's a no-brainer, but I think that they do know whatever they do needs to be very carefully thought out at this point because of Fantastic Beasts. on top of like the PR stuff they had to deal with a lot of people involved with Fantastic Beasts. So that's why, I mean, I guess it's good news if they're being cautious and making sure they have a story they think is ready to go on this one.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Danielle.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, and I think it's just like, it's going to be, you have JK not say, just not be involved in any of it, and you just take her things from her, and then you put her on an ice floe, I think. Just
you can't do that. I mean, you can, but you can't legally do that. I think as much as we wouldn't shed too many tears about the ice flow ending of this saga, it's like she's the creator, and I'm sure she's arranged for herself some type of lifelong control over what happens with these properties.
Yeah, I think there was even some talk that like whether they could do a TV show or not was dependent on her, you know. I do wonder if what they need to do is like find their Filoni, because you know, I know it's a very different. I'm not making a one-to-one here about why people were mad at George Lucas versus why people were mad at J.K. Rowling. Very different reasons. But when you came out of the prequels, George Lucas was very involved with the Clone Wars, but he found this person in Filoni who was like his conduit, who then the fans really embraced over time. And it could be like passing the torch, and this person knows what they're doing and really cares about these characters in this world. And I think that that's what they, you know, I'm sure WB knows that they have to kind of find that person too, but it's going to have to be a negotiation with her because, yeah, she is legally tied into it all.
Sorry for looking this up on stream, but didn't WB appoint like a new Rowling Wrangler?
They did. They just put like a guy kind of in charge of the overall like entire Wizarding World Harry Potter division, just like the theme parks, the play, the flamethrower, just all, you know, all the facets of Harry Potter, which does show you it's like this is a pivotal thing for them. I saw someone tweeted at me today like, oh, is HBO Max desperate? Is that why they're doing this? I'm like, no, this is just something they're late to. It would be like if Disney Plus is like, we don't want to do a Star Wars show. It's like, of course they want to do a Harry Potter show. It's just they have to catch up, and it's going to take a while. And at this point, because they're not ready, and they weren't ready when they launched, why not take a little more time and put out the the statement that we're not working on anything when they totally are, because they want to be ready with it correctly.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't want to put you guys too much on the spot, but we're all semi-professionals here. What's your pitch for a Harry Potter series, or what in general would you like to see if they put one on TV?
I don't know if this is what I want to see, but I think that it would do very well. Look, I'm American, and we love nothing more than when things are about us. And I think you do start going and looking at and giving, if you want to give, and I think the Clone Wars is a good thing to reference when we talk about that, just in terms of having another story and giving it something that's more open. You do the other schools and you start focusing on other schools and other stories, and then you're not so tied in with like the Harry Potterness of it. You can get into, it's a big world and people want to see that world. And if there's anything, again, it's not exactly the same, but that the Mandalorian told us is that when you go out and you explore different corners of this world, like you can call back to some of this other stuff, but people are really interested in seeing what else is out there. So I think that you do the other schools. I think you bring it to America, Ilvermorny, right?
Nice.
Pushing back on that, though, I think that's the idea behind Fantastic Beasts, or certainly the first one. And it's just it turns out that the world outside of Hogwarts is like cold and morose and uptight and sucks. So I like that pitch in theory. But
and then also, of course, they tied it all back to characters we knew and situations we knew. So yeah, I agree with Danielle. It's like you have to get something a little more distance. And again, I will defend the first Fantastic Beasts movie, not the second as much. But they need something that's even cleaner, cut away and its own thing. And if you do, and that can be a contemporary something, that just doesn't have to involve any of the characters we know, because it can be set in a completely different part of the world. America or anywhere else, do one in Japan. It can be anything. And if you do the quote unquote prequel route, again, I think it needs to be like a completely different era, kind of like people are like the Old Republic, or now the High Republic for Star Wars. It's like, something like if you want to do like the founding of Hogwarts or something, but it shouldn't be, again, like anything involving young McGonagall or, a young version of the characters we know. I think it needs to be a lot more distance from that. Initially, I'm not saying that one day they might not do a show about a Weasley, But for now,
meet the Weasleys.
Yes.
I mean, I'd watch a show about like the Weasley dad just like living in the Muggle world.
I do kind of want like, ooh, now you can do Weasley Vision. It could be at the Burrow.
Exactly. Yeah, the undercover wizard family.
Yes.
Yeah,
never mind. I
good.
take it all back.
I'm liking these. I was thinking like maybe like a young idealistic teacher, or maybe like a grizzled one like Mad Eye Moody or something, doing like a stand and deliver type thing at like whatever the underserved public school version of Hogwarts is.
Which would still be in America.
Which would probably be in America. And yeah, you have the whole calculus thing, but it's about, divination.
Yeah. And this is the show. That's how you can get into the minutia of the wizard world that hopefully does not involve things like when J.K. Rowling said that they made their poop magically disappear.
Oh, God damn it.
Minutia that's more about like life for the people on the sidelines.
What's the opposite of a fun fact? Did you know they would just squat on the ground? All of your heroes would just pop a squat and then wave a wand at it, and then presumably not wipe their dirty wizard asses.
No, because they wanded away.
Wanded away.
That's your WandaVision.
Yeah. Oh, it's clap. All right. I mean, I think we'll probably have to return to this story later when there's a little more meat about it, but it's safe to say there is going to be a Harry Potter TV series at some point if they find a pitch they like, and if J.K. Rowling approves. I hope you're very appreciative of all that knowledge we just dropped on you.
No, I mean, I would be shocked if it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just at some point we'll get the press release and it'll have some impressive, I hope, like showrunner attached to it. And I think that will be because that is the thing, is she's been so possessive of it and so like, wanting to do her own thing. And maybe that is like someone has to have a pitch that Warner Brothers really likes and she really likes, that maybe has to be completely, maybe that's the secret to it, is making it completely divorced from any of the characters we know, so that she doesn't feel so precious about it. And hopefully that person is walking right in right now, and it's Aaron Sorkin. No, it's not Aaron Sorkin, but it's someone we're not thinking of.
He is walking.
He is walking and he's talking.
Wizard version walk and talk.
It could be a lot of Hogwarts walk and talks. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, the jackal, but it's a real jackal.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you guys so much for watching to this point. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell so you get the notifications when we're on. And come back on Friday where Eric and Roth will be reviewing WandaVision episodes 3 and 4. So I guess you guys stay up late on Thursday or something like that?
Probably, or just do the wake up early. I did a couple of Mandalorians when they dropped, and it was sometimes a little bit of a struggle. So more likely 6 a.m. watching for me.
Nice. Well, yeah, stick around for that. And stick around for segment number 2. We're going to talk Godzilla versus Kong, baby. Ooh, the throwdown has begun. That trailer dropped over the weekend, and wow, they've gotten me before. They've got me twice with these movies. Well, actually 3 times, but I really liked Skull Island. They can really put a trailer together. Legendary and this MonsterVerse. It is so pretty. We're going to dive all into it, but overall, what did you guys think?
Jamie?
I loved it. It's wrestling, man. It's Sunday. You'll have the whole your bed, but you'll only need the edge of your bed. It's fantastic. I thought it was great. I'm super into it. I was really surprised at how into it, because the series isn't it's not like huge, but it's definitely got people who love the Godzillas and the Kongs. Everybody was talking about this, even people who I hadn't really seen connect with any of these series before. So that was really interesting too.
Yeah. I mean, nobody saw Godzilla King of the Monsters. I mean, not nobody, but it didn't do well, but they had already started on Godzilla versus Kong, so there was no turning back. And I'm glad they did, because it seems like the hype machine is rolling. Eric, what'd you think?
But by the way, I think they finished this movie, like just production, obviously a lot of post to do when King of the Monsters came out, because I remember interviewing Millie Bobby Brown, and I think she just finished filming it. But yeah, I again, if they'd seen the box office, they might not have, but I'm with you. I'm glad they did. This is a really weird series. It's the 4th one, and in no way is it like taken off. And also, I don't even think people even understand it's a series. Like, I remember seeing King. I took my friend to the press screening of King of the Monsters, and he turns to me after and goes, was this a sequel? And I had to remind him, yeah, there was another mostly boring Godzilla movie a few years ago, and this was kind of a sequel to that. So it's not, in no way have they sort of successfully done this shared universe thing, but I do think it is the power of a fun trailer with an easy pitch right there in the title that everyone's reacting so well to this. And yeah, I really dug it. It is, there's some amazingly silly stuff in this trailer, and I just love that they have these great actors. They have Kyle Chandler and Rebecca Hall having to deliver these straight-laced lines about Godzilla's on the loose, so we don't know why. And, you know,
I'm sorry. Kyle Chandler said Godzilla is hurting people, and we don't know why.
We don't know why. Just like Coach Taylor would say, I don't know why Jason Street is acting out. But I love it. And then, I mean, because it looks like it completely delivers in what we want it to deliver and embraces it. And, you know, has some moments that were just like, yeah, like you said, Danielle, the wrestling fan of me was like, yeah, you know, just getting hyped up.
I'm ashamed to be such like an unabashed fanboy of this stuff, but like, let's just name some of our favorite moments, because mine included Kyle Chandler saying Godzilla is hurting people and we don't know why. I'm pretty sure, and like some other places have backed me up on this, that if you pause it near the beginning, you see Mecha Godzilla. Now this is, I mean, I'm both intrigued and annoyed because I want to see Mecha Godzilla, but isn't this always the case with versus movies? Is like you have the fight in the middle, but then they have to team up against the real bad guy, so you never actually get to see which one would win in a fight. It's really like, you know, they have the Martha moment, and then they turn their attention towards the bigger monster. Regardless, I would love to see Mecha Godzilla on screen. And then the other thing I liked was well, actually, I didn't like this. Sorry, this is turning into 3 things I don't like. The like limp bit, the lump buzz kit, like the sound-alike Limp Bizkit track that they used.
Oh, I was in.
Give it to me. Yeah, I want it.
I want someone to put that over.
Music choice.
I watched the trailer for the 1962 King Kong versus Godzilla this morning on YouTube, which I used to watch as a kid all the time. And I was like, someone needs to put that song behind this trailer. Hear it. My favorite moments include Rebecca Hall delivering the line "Kong bows to no one," which is amazing. And then that final shot where he deflects the Godzilla blast. I mean, come on. Yeah, that is strong. That is a hyped up moment.
That was my favorite. Easily my favorite is when Kong just takes that. He dumps it back in his face up top. Double dribble. Like in
Karate Kid 2 when the crane kick is countered. It's like, what? Yeah. We can't believe it.
Well, so Danielle, Eric, who do you got? Godzilla or Kong? Who are you taking?
Well, after I saw that beam, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Kong, because Kong's young, right? He's young in these, so it's like age versus experience. But I feel like
there's
those
been time passed. I think just so not to fact check, but I do believe the implication is that time, because it was what? When was Kong's Skull Island?
70s.
It was 70s, yeah. But still, if Godzilla's like thousands of years old, right?
But there was that shot. There was that shot where Kong puts his paw up against like another paw print, which indicates that like Kongs have been this size before, and he might be middle-aged. We don't know. There could be other Kongs. There could be 2 Kongs.
Didn't they show, I think, did they show a skull or something in the last one? They did, because they had a line of dialogue to say he's still growing, to kind of cover that he would get bigger.
Okay, well, so if he's an adult, then I'm going with Kong. But if at the end they do wind up both fighting Mechagodzilla, I want them to do it as a couple. I love tropes. I've been reading, as you all know, a lot of fan fiction lately. I love enemies to lovers, and so if they're both of age, then I want those two together as a power couple beating up Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
The trailer does promise one shall fall, but trailers can lie, so who knows? The trailer wants you to be in Kong's corner. It gives him really cool moments. I also love when he just freaking punches Godzilla, and it clearly states that Godzilla, for some reason, Kyle Chandler doesn't know why, he's
hurting people.
He's hurting people. So Kong is is coded as the hero of this movie, which also makes me think he could have a sacrificial death at the end or something like that. Because Godzilla will not stay. Godzilla's a force of nature, and the movies have already established Godzilla's own pureness. So I think by the end, Godzilla, if he is truly himself and not Mechagodzilla, he will come to his senses and maybe Kong will go out a hero. I mean, especially because I'm going to bring up the 1962 movie again, which had Kong win. So in this, maybe you want to flip it up this time. Switch it around.
I'm also on Team Kong. I guess you're right. They're pushing you in that direction by making Godzilla kind of the anti-hero, the bad boy, the Vegeta, if you will. But I was really when you hear about the tagline and just the premise for this movie, it's like there's no way Kong could win. And then I realized that that's why they always underestimate us primates. Is we use tools, you know?
Yeah.
We're smart. That's like, how could people take down a woolly mammoth? It's like because we think ahead. We have spears and stuff like that. So the fact that Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla versus Kong with an axe, come on. It's Kong all the way. So
he's gearing up. By the way,
gearing up.
What you said about these trailers keep getting you, because the King of the Monsters was really a disappointment for me. Like, because I thought those trailers were awesome, which went for a much more like sort of like epic, like look at these majestic images, and I was all in. And that movie was directed by Michael Deltry, who directed one of my favorite movies, Trick or Treat. I think you can see Sam in the background here. And I was really bummed that it wasn't great. Now, this movie is directed by Adam Wingard, who directed one of my favorite movies of the past decade, The Guest, which I'm wearing a hoodie for.
Oh, nice.
And You're Next. And I really dig him. And I am kind of psyched to see what he does with a mega budget like this. And I think he's really good at kind of embracing the like winking, like, you know, a cheesiness, but a knowing cheesiness. So fingers crossed again, you know, for this series, that the third Godzilla can finally deliver what we all want.
Yeah, I feel like the second one, I felt the same way. It was beautiful, like a coffee table book. Like it was just this amazing art, but it was a little bit, I don't know, the dynamics of it were all at like one level so that nothing really stood out. It was just like one long, slow, engulfing monster fight that never really, you know, built to anything. It just stayed up here the entire time till I was like kind of numb to it by the end. So I hope he can modulate our tension and our expectations and the action and really deliver those when Ba with the Ba starts playing on and they start punching each other. I hope it's a real payoff.
Well, it'd be the fake one, right? So it's wah, bit of wah.
Well, they'll have Kid Rock back and my name is King Kong.
King Kong. Now I want full wrestling entrances with like the pyro. And
they should totally do that, like a Titan fighting league. That's probably the way to. Yeah. Oh, great. This is awesome.
Ooh, yeah. They should do a fighting game. All right.
I'm excited. I'm psyched, but I've been fooled before, but I'm officially excited. All right. Let's take a few questions before going to that WandaVision junket. How's that sound?
Sound good.
All right. Lucas writes, asking the tough questions. How big do AirPods need to be to fit in Godzilla's ears, and what is he listening to?
There are at least two.
Can you bring up a photo of Godzilla? I need to see his ears. Does he have ears? Do reptiles have ears?
Did we see his ears? Like
this feels like
I don't picture like
that's King Kong.
There's Kong.
I mean, sure.
He's got but Godzilla, because when you think of like a T-Rex or a raptor, you don't see like visible ears. They gotta have them.
I'm glad
you're gonna need like a reptilologist on to
just to show you more how this is from Kong's perspective. We don't get a lot of like POV or on shots on Godzilla here.
Yeah,
because he's.
Do you think that's because his latest film underperformed at the box office? So they're like, people don't. Godzilla's cold. King Kong is hot. Give us more Kong.
The kids want Kong.
I think he's got to wear Beats. I don't see like a place where he could. I think he's got to get them just like honking Beats.
He's gonna need cans for sure. If he can even hear and not like sense vibrations. I don't know. This is how dumb I am. I'm about to Google, can lizards hear?
And for what he's listening to, I think he'll surprise us. Maybe it's Old Town Road or
Oh,
that's perfect.
That's true.
Oh, nobody heard that on stream, but Moulton was telling us that there are those headphones that like vibrate your bones and just play like subdermal music, which sounds kind of cool.
I think he's into the shins. I think he's just huge into the shins. And every lady Godzilla he meets, he's just like, "Hey, you heard of the shins? They'll change your life."
Zach Braff is gonna put the the pods on.
That'd be a good prompt, is replace one role with Godzilla to make the movie better. And I think replacing Zach Braff or Natalie Portman in Garden State would make it better. Yeah, I was going to say like The Doors, because it's like, oh, the Lizard King, but he probably resents Jim Morrison for taking that title of the Lizard King. So he definitely does not listen to LA Woman or anything on that. But it'd be funny if he did. All right.
Hip-hop
Next
for
question.
sure.
Hip hop for sure. Yeah. Next question. Who is the greatest movie criminal? Asked James Bunt. They must have gotten away with it to be truly great. Who's the best on-screen criminal in your eyes?
Oh, I think all the Oceans guys, right? They always get away with stuff, and
Yeah.
they do it in a way that's funny and fun to watch. So I'm going to go with that's 11 to 13 criminals, but and sometimes a fake Julia. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Oceans crew.
Okay.
Yeah, so he said had to get away with it, so that takes out my beloved Hans Gruber, because he did not get away with it. Yeah. I mean, part of me wants to say Hannibal Lecter, who I realize we met imprisoned, so it's like that's I guess a knock against him, but he completely in control. That's the whole thing, right? It's like who's really locked up here? And then once he gets free, which again, he successfully gets free, everything's coming up Hannibal. And he pretty much gets away with everything he wants to get away with from that point on. So I think on the grimmer level, Hannibal, but Danielle, I agree on the more fun. We're rooting for you guys. Danny Ocean and the boys, they're just having a good time. They look great.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite criminals, like they all get their comeuppance in the end, like De Niro in Casino or Liotta in Goodfellas. Even like Robert Pattinson in Good Time. Like I'm pretty sure. Well, sorry, spoiler alerts for all these movies I'm about to name. Whoops. What's one that I can not spoil? But yeah, probably Michael Corleone. I mean, what a baller.
Ooh.
Wasn't that the tagline for the new version of Godfather 3?
What a baller.
Colin.
That's my favorite movie criminal. He's the best. Okay. And finally, well, I don't want to ask that. That's mean to fans. This is a personal question. I'd like to turn it into a public service announcement. Luis Valenzuela writes, would you risk seeing Godzilla vs. Kong in an IMAX theater? No, and I hope you don't. That's my personal answer. I hope you listen to your local health authorities and don't go to a theater until it's safe. That's why HBO Max is bringing it to your laptop and phone, as Godzilla vs. Kong was meant to be seen. But I personally, I don't know. I'm not comfortable going to a movie theater. What is it? March it comes out?
Yeah, it's March.
Yeah, I think we're talking summer at the earliest for me. It's still a little soon. Cases are like, they've just taken a dip and the California governor's like, everything's good now. So prepare for another spike in the coming future.
I mean, watching the trailer made me very sad I won't be seeing it in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Because there's even King of the Monsters, which again, didn't really work for me as a movie, but I saw it in IMAX and it was beautiful. And those shots, some of those shots of those creatures were amazing. And when you watch that trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, it's like, this would rule on a giant screen. March is too early for me. First of all, I don't think LA theaters will be open anyway, but even if I could drive, to Vegas or Anaheim to do it, I don't think I'd feel comfortable doing it at that point. Yeah, like you said, summer maybe. It's funny because they moved Godzilla vs. Kong up 2 months. Because I'm like, I don't know, maybe in May, maybe I might have get vaccinated. I don't know. But March just seems too soon. So it's a bummer that my answer is no, because I would love to see that movie in a theater, but I don't think March.
Danielle, you going to risk it all for the Kong?
I have popcorn here. They make it in bags and you can put it right in your microwave device.
Yeah. And the screen is as big as you want the closer you get to it. You can simulate the experience. Yeah, just hold it right here. It's enormous. It'll take up your whole field of view as they intended.
They sent us, by the way, they sent us a giant, I wish I had it next to me to show you guys that they sent this giant tub of popcorn to promote the trailer's debut, HBO Max. That I can spend the next month of my life eating. So,
yeah, there you go. A Kong-sized popcorn to go with it. So I recommend recreating the theater experience at home. Stick some gum under your chair, make a bunch of popcorn. It'll be great. With that said, we've got a big-ass junket coming up. Eric, why don't you intro your trip to WandaVision Town?
This is part 2 of my trip to WandaVision Town. So a couple weeks ago, before the show premiered, we showed my interview with Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. And there was one that I held onto, which was Tana Paris, who plays Monica Rambeau, except we met her as Geraldine. And I held it because I'd seen the first 3 episodes at that point, and I just wanted to ask her a little more about things we'd seen already. But now that you've seen the first 3, and I assume you've seen the first 3, because come on, it's the event of the season. Here is my interview with her where we talk about that and the fact that she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2 and everything's coming up Monica.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to stick around and watch it. I hope you guys do too, but we will be back tomorrow and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Heavenly shades of night are calling. It's twilight time.
Wanda and Vision, aren't we a 5-pair?
Monica is quite an important Marvel character in her own right, but when we meet her here, or at least the adult version of her, it's in a very unusual way. So can you talk about how you approached playing her in these first episodes, because she's a bit out of sorts?
So who we meet in the first couple of episodes, we meet Geraldine. And I think what's really exciting and going to be, you know, a bit of a mystery for the fans is trying to piece together, well, who is Geraldine? Because we know Tiana is playing Monica, or is that the same? Like, you know, trying to figure out what that correlation is going to be, I think, really fun.
Wanda, what's up? Who are you? I don't know.
You have this great scene with Elizabeth where we see kind of a switch flip a little bit for Wanda there when certain names are said. What was it like working with her and sort of seeing that very big change from peppy housewife on a sitcom to maybe a little more menacing?
A little. Just watching Lizzie work, I'm really excited for fans to get to see her really get to just do her thing. She's on full display and really going for it and just so grounded, and to see her go from one to the other and being there. And I a couple of times, I'm sure I probably threw her off. I was so in it. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, oh wait, I am definitely supposed to be in this scene with you, but I'm just watching her and just, you know, oh yeah, never mind. Okay, yes.
In WandaVision, you're the first character who we get to see both in the sitcom world and the real world. So is that interesting for you to kind of get to change up everything, the sets visually and your acting style?
That was a lot of fun. Just because essentially you have each of these decades and then you have the 2 different worlds, as you say. Being able to explore all of those different types of television, well, all sitcom, but just the decades, like the different structure and parameter that happens for each one of those was really fun to study. We did a whole sitcom boot camp to get ready for that and get us in our mindset. So that was definitely a really cool experience.
I think something's wrong here.
We just don't know what to expect.
We're going to see you in Captain Marvel 2, and there's a lot of excitement about the potential for this character, maybe getting to see her powers eventually. What are your hopes for Monica as you get to develop her through the MCU?
My hopes for Monica is that, like, it's been an amazing experience thus far. Just the collaborative spirit that has been around bringing adult Monica back to the MCU, and they've been very open to my interpretation of who she is, and I'm, putting forth what their ideas are and who she is, and just bringing all of those things together. I am very excited for her future in the MCU. As we know, she's moving on to Captain Marvel 2 with Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. So I think it's going to be some really fun stuff ahead for us.